Jeremy Corbyn of the Labour Party, also said back, I think it was last month, correct, when Baghdadi was killed, that Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS, should not have been killed and should have been arrested. So that kind of rhetoric is now being mirrored in the aftermath of this terrorist attack in London.
What was the exact term? They called him, what, an austere scholar, a great leader?
Oh, yeah. Immediately after he was killed, the Washington Post reported that he was an austere scholar. I guess we've had the death of another austere scholar on London Bridge today. But here's an example of some of what I picked up on Twitter. And these people are all Jeremy Corbyn supporters, obviously. One person said, "Well done to the public and the police on the fast response on London Bridge. But was there any need for the police to kill the man? They could have easily arrested him, but murdered him instead."
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, November 29th, 2019. I'm your host, Alex Jones, coming to you from the road here in San Diego, visiting my wife's family. I'll be back in the ATX tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you so much for joining us on this live worldwide Friday broadcast. It is Black Friday. We have lots of stampeding crowds running over each other already. Lots of women in hijabs battling each other over goodies at Walmart and so much more. Lots of people having to have their butts amputated because of illegal butt injections. Just the total decadence of the Hollywood poison cup that has been turned over. We also have someone screaming Allah Akbar, stabbing 5 people with a reported bomb vest they're now saying is fake on the London Bridge, a favorite Islamic attack point. But we've been told it's not Islamic. And elephants aren't elephants and sky's not blue. That's all coming up. And then just some incredible stories out in the open. Former Obama operatives creating fake news sites to help Democrats win election. They admit they're putting out fake stories and that Facebook, Twitter, and Google are promoting them. They're proud of what they're doing. Steve Watson article that was up yesterday, but I'm going to have reposted the front page of Infowars.com. It's so incredible. So there you have them admitting that they're lying. Of course, that's what mainstream media already does. They're just getting with the program. Angela Merkel says freedom of speech must be curtailed to keep society free. Paul Joseph Watson is going to be hosting the 4th hour today. He's going to be covering that. She actually said that. This is not satire in a speech. We're going to be playing that coming up. So they're going to lie to us openly. They're going to silence our speech. Then they're going to bully everybody that speaks up against it. Internet crybabies, upset NFL quarterback supports Trump. They want him fired. There's serious discussions of it happening. Meanwhile, teacher who supported drag queen visiting school without parents being told to exchange phone numbers and contact info with the man dressed as a woman who wanted to discuss sexuality with their children, says that parents don't have a right and that the school's going to do what they want, and the Texas school and the Texas principal support them and say, we're going to have access to your children. So we're going to lie to you. We're going to give you fake news. We're going to silence you. Then we're going to have contact with your children and exchange phone numbers and other information with them, and you're not going to stop jack crap. Actually says, some of you don't know what is best for your kids, close quote. It's all up on Infowars.com, Newswars.com, and Paul's amazing site, Summit.news. China folds. Beijing does nothing after Trump signs Hong Kong bill. That's a big, big deal. That's just some of what's coming up. Meanwhile, this story's so huge, it's hard to believe, but I went and read the whole bill, showed it to a lawyer last night and to law enforcement. They said, damn right, after Charlottesville, any type of defense training with firearms, Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing, Tai Chi, firearms instruction, self-defense, now terrorism under Virginia proposed law. That's all coming up today. Trump makes a surprise visit to Afghanistan trying to end the war. He's attacked by the left for trying to end the war. What a criminal. And so much more coming out today. Joining us, though, he'll be hosting the 4th hour, is Paul Joseph Watson, who is in London to give us the latest London Bridge terror stabbing. Suspect shot dead by police was wearing hoax bomb. Euro News. Guardian, London Bridge police shoot stabbing suspect after 5 injured. And of course, last time the Lion of London Bridge fought back when they'd already killed a bunch of people. He was taken for re-education for daring fight back against the jihadis. I'm not joking. Paul, give us the latest information from Londistan.
Well, good to be back, Alex. Yeah, they tackled the man. He stabbed somebody, they're reporting, nearby London Bridge. So it sounds like he went into some kind of shop or premises and tried to stab a bunch of people. I've seen one image of a woman that basically looks severely injured or dead. So they're not saying how many people have been stabbed. They're just saying injuries at the moment. So it looks like he then ran onto the bridge and was immediately tackled by a bunch of brave citizens who grabbed the knife from him. And he was wearing what they now call a fake explosives vest. They wouldn't have known that it was fake at the time, obviously. So they got the knife off him. Then the police arrived, got the public to stand back, and basically double tapped him in the head and shot him dead, which has caused some consternation over quite a few people on Twitter, Alex, who said that the terrorist should not have been killed and that he should have been arrested or handcuffed, given that he just stabbed, they're saying, I guess, at least 5 people at the moment. He was wearing a fake explosives vest. They're saying he should have been arrested, apprehended without deadly force, which is interesting because we've got an election coming up here in about 10 days' time, where the leader of one side of the parties that are running, the 2 major parties, Jeremy Corbyn of the Labour Party, also said back, I think it was last month, correct, when Baghdadi was killed, that Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS, should not have been killed and should have been arrested. So that kind of rhetoric is now being mirrored in the aftermath of this terrorist attack in London.
What was the exact term? They called him, what, an austere scholar, a great leader?
Oh, yeah. Immediately after he was killed, the Washington Post reported that he was an austere scholar. I guess we've had the death of another austere scholar on London Bridge today. But here's an example of some of what I picked up on Twitter. And these people are all Jeremy Corbyn supporters, obviously. One person said, "Well done to the public and the police on the fast response on London Bridge. But was there any need for the police to kill the man? They could have easily arrested him, but murdered him instead. State murder doesn't sit well with me." Again, he'd literally just been running around foaming at the mouth. We don't know if he was chanting Allah Akbar yet, but it's a distinct possibility. He'd ran into premises. Police rushed to the scene. Passers-by grabbed the man, pinned him to the ground. He had a giant, what they call zombie knife. But no, he shouldn't have been shot, apparently, Alex. That was too much deadly force, and he should have merely been arrested. So this is the narrative that we're dealing with. The other aspect of this is, as you said, the guy who tackled the London Bridge terrorists on the previous attack, which was more deadly 2 years ago, he was later put in a right-wing extremist database. So you have that tie-in as well. You also
he was also sent to re-education classes.
Yeah.
And again, how many people died? How many times was he brutally stabbed as he took on the 2 individuals with huge knives that were running around stabbing people, screaming Allah Akbar? And again, we have the footage. The man is going for a suicide vest. They didn't know what it was. They told him over and over again to stop. You see the officer get in the position and kill him. Should have shot him before that when he had his hands on what looked like a suicide vest, was saying he was going to detonate it. Obviously wanted suicide by cop, had just reportedly stabbed a bunch of people. What the hell planet are these leftists living on, lionizing people like this scumbag?
Well, we had, after the previous attack, which was more deadly, I think it was 11 people killed, dozens injured. The Lion of Millwall, the guy who tackled one of the terrorists, stabbed himself multiple times. And in fact, during that incident, while the terrorists were rushing into the restaurants and attacking people, some people who were hiding in the back were offended that other people were calling these individuals Muslims. And while the attack was taking place, were screaming out, "How dare you call them Muslims?" There's literally a video of that. But then after that attack, the London Metropolitan Police, who've done an astounding job in this instance, came out, and you've seen this in America with school shootings, and said, in the immediate aftermath of a terrorist attack, while it's happening, the public should run, hide, and tell. That's the advice they gave them. I'm thankful, and I'm sure a lot of people who may have been caught up in this today are thankful that those people on London Bridge didn't follow that advice. They didn't run away. They didn't hide. They didn't tell. They tackled, and they fought. And thanks to that, the terrorist is dead, and the casualty list is thankfully quite low.
That's right, or he would have found women and children and taken his time. I want to do 5 more minutes with you on the other side and then let you get ready so you really prepare for when you host an hour. Paul Watson's hosting the 4th hour today. I want to come back and ask him some other geopolitical questions. And Merkel openly saying we have to take people's speech to protect freedom, freedom for the Islamic globalist invasion of Europe. We'll talk about it all with Paul Joseph Watson. Stay with us. We are back live, broadcasting worldwide. Paul Joseph Watson is in London. He'll be hosting the 4th hour today. I know I'm going to be listening always. One of the most powerful hours of radio and TV you're going to listen or see anywhere. I wanted to hit a few other subjects briefly with Paul here. Then I'll tell you about the other guests and what's coming up today. It's unprecedented to have Merkel come out and say, we've got to restrict speech for freedom. That is true 1984, and that ties in with the Democrats just being honest about what they've been doing all along. We've seen articles in the New York Times, Washington Post, countless others saying the Republicans lie so well, the right-wingers lie so well, Alex Jones lies so well, which isn't true, I tell the truth so well, that we've got to start lying better than they do. And they have big articles with Charlie Wurzel and others talking about how they're going to be deceptive in the New York Times. It's simply amazing how they're getting their own people to be recruited to be liars in the name of fighting bad guys. Former Obama operatives creating fake news sites to help Democrats win election. It's an Infowars.com article, and Steve Watson has all of it saved. It's all public. The fake news they're putting out, promoted by Facebook, promoted by Twitter, promoted by Google. Then we put out videos showing Obama saying build a wall 5 years ago. That's blocked as fake news, even though it's real. So they're putting out fake news while they silence us, and then while they bully and call for the firing of a quarterback that supports Trump 4 years ago, and while they say that our children belong to them, it's simply incredible. Let's go to a clip of Merkel and then get Paul Joseph Watson's take on this.
Sie dürfen nicht mehr ihre Meinung sagen, denen muss sie einfach sagen, wer seine Meinung sagt. Und wenn sie prononciert ist, der muss damit leben, dass es Widerspruch gibt. Es gibt keine Meinungsfreiheit zum Nulltarif, dass alle zustimmen.
He goes on to say, we're coming after you.
Meinungsfreiheit kennt Grenzen.
And there you go. But freedom of speech, expression has limits. Those limits begin where hatred is spread. Oh, they begin when the dignity of other people is violated. The House must oppose extreme speech. Otherwise, our society will no longer be the free society that it was. Wow. So you have all lived to see the leader of the most powerful nation in Europe, Merkel, who can never be removed from power because they have a parliament, dozens of parties, more than 25 big parties. So she always just buys off the other little parties every time she loses an election to stay in power in parliament. That's how that works. One reason a two-party system is terrible, but better than a 10-party system, 20-party system. Paul Watson, this is simply incredible. They define whatever they want as hate in Europe, in the UK, then they ban it. Now that's actually happening here with the ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center, and others saying arrest big tech heads and totally silence all of us. This isn't coming. This is here. What do you see happening next, and how do we combat this?
Well, of course, with Germany, Alex, they've literally got a constitution which says, quote, there shall be no censorship. They lived under the Gestapo. They lived under the Stasi. They're supposed to have one of the most, liberal, classically liberal constitutions when it comes to free speech imaginable. In fact, Merkel herself, back in 2010, said multiculturalism has failed. Now she says any speech that offends the dignity of somebody is hate speech. I'm wondering if what she herself said back in 2010 would now be considered hate speech in Germany. And listen, they tried to pass laws in Germany just a couple of months ago where it would make insulting the EU anthem, yes, the EU actually has an anthem, and burning the EU flag a crime, punishable up to 3 years in prison. So this is the situation in Germany. You had also, of course, back in 2015, New Year's Eve 2015, the mass molestation of women in Cologne, primarily carried out by migrants from North Africa and the Middle East. People who have spoken out about that, including AfD members of parliament who have tweeted about that, have had their tweets deleted. People have been arrested, interrogated for hate speech, for questioning that. In fact, in this article, Alex, which you just cited today, my video, which is called The Mass Brainwashing of Germany, which talks about how not only through police action, but also through, for example, inserting storylines into soap operas and putting out commercials with German women wearing hijabs and Islamic garbs. There was an effort to kind of make people accept it and stop complaining about it as they let in over 1 million migrants from the Middle East, from these cultures. That video is banned in Germany. You can't even watch it in Germany. And the amount of times I've had messages from Twitter and Facebook, when I was on Facebook, saying this tweet is illegal in Germany and nobody in Germany can see it. So from going from there shall be no censorship, they are probably just behind Sweden, one of the most censored countries in Europe, and it's absolutely chilling given their history.
And we know what's happened. The ADL and other international organizations are setting the standard. They're giving awards to Merkel, and now they're bringing it to the United States. It's insane to see Sacha Baron Cohen, who made all his money with really absolutely unbelievable stuff, trying to set people up for terrorism, saying throw Jews down the well. You'll go, okay, well, it's comedy. Well, it's really incitement to violence. We've never done that. I don't dislike Jews. I dislike censors who happen to be Jewish. How should this be countered? I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen is as close to Hitler as I've seen in my lifetime.
Well, it should be countered by pointing out that, I mean, he was upset, of all things, about Mark Zuckerberg saying he supported free speech, as if that was a genuine statement in the first place. But that speech has gone far and wide. I'm still hearing about it now. The ironic thing about it, as you said, he actually played characters and made big movies based on characters, based on stereotypes, what some people, a lot of people would call racist stereotypes in terms of Borat. And he did another movie called Bruno, which the entire movie was based on a stereotypical gay man. The content of that movie would probably not be shown in cinemas today because the same kind of woke crowd that he's trying to pander to would find it bigoted and homophobic. So this is a guy who's made a career on creating bigoted stereotypes about people in modern day parlance. And now he's trying to say that Facebook and Twitter is allowing extremism on its platform. Of course, their definition of extremism is so entirely vague that it includes anything that basically counters their narrative, to the point where you had the ADL respond to that and come out with a list of Twitter personalities and YouTube channels that they demand be banned off the back of this Sacha Baron Cohen speech. And again, it has nothing to do with stopping actual extremism. Some of these organizations have actually incited extremism and incited shootings with this propaganda against Christians.
Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah, SPLC, where they actually incited a guy to go out and try to shoot up the place. So they don't care
listen,
about
if I cut a video saying throw Jews down the well, I'd get arrested. That's incitement to violence. He does it. It's okay because he's Hollywood. No, it's sick. It's dangerous. What are you going to be covering in the fourth hour today?
We're going to be covering Greta Thunberg is now part of a religious course in Sweden, again, proving that climate change is religion, and all the latest from the London terror attack.
All right, summit.news, spread that link, summit.news. The info war lives on through you, listeners and viewers. Stay with us. We'll be back with huge amounts of critical intel. Please tell folks we're live. It's Black Friday, worldwide live transmission.
InfoWarsStore.com, where patriots unite.
Now it's easier than ever to have band.video on your iPhone. Simply go to band.video with your Safari browser. Then you click the share button at the bottom of the screen. When the menu comes up, you simply click Add to Home Screen. It will then ask you to name the app. I suggest band.video. You will now have band.video app on your home screen. despite the fact that Tim Cook tried to stop it. The globalists think you're lazy, but by taking a little bit of action, you can override them, have the app, and then tell others about it so they can get the app. So it's up to you whether you want to defy big tech, and click the share buttons below on your email, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, however you want. Be sure and share ban.video. Please support us as well and spread the word about the transmission. And remember, your financial support is what makes this possible. Plus, we make it easy. We have really great products at InfoWarsStore.com, and we have the Alexa Pure Breeze that every year around this time, we are able to offer at their cost. And then we're given a rebate for the new year when we purchase these. This way, we don't have to pay taxes on them. This is $147 is the cost with free shipping. They've never done a deal that good. It's a hot item. They sell tens of thousands of these a year. It's a 4-stage ion cluster. Other competing brands are $400, $500, $600, $700. All the markup. No, ladies and gentlemen, we usually sell these all day long for $250. They're a great deal. $147. I've told the guy, like, this cuts into the market selling this low. People don't appreciate it. Well, this is what the InfoWars audience gets. InfoWarsStore.com. There's only a few hundred of these left at this price, and then more don't come in until next year.